Hello, I'm Chylli from channel Chylli, also known as Try, and we are back with more Limbus Company, back with more of the Arknights collab again. Getting right back in where we left off, we now have a combat encounter here as we try to get into the lighthouse to find where the ship went.
총은 수지 타산에 맞게 한 발에 한 놈씩.
After a while of carefully sailing on Scatty's raft across the coastal cliffs, a gargantuan shrouded lighthouse emerged from the thick mist. Eye of Iberia, even in its dilapidated ruined state, touches that are at once monumental and sensitive are apparent on the exterior construction of the lighthouse. Some even call the lighthouses guardians of Iberia. It retains the grandeur of the era as it was built during its golden age. You really know everything, don't you? And it is as she said, but now these lighthouses are nothing but graveyards for countless inquisitors and soldiers of the penal battalion. No one who's attempted to retrieve a lighthouse has ever survived the expedition. Can you please not say scary stuff like that, Miss Iran? We are literally about to walk into one. Don't you ever quit chirping? What are you, a foul beast? Stop yapping in my ear. Why is this one such a coward unlike the rest of you outsiders? I'm not a coward, I'm just voicing my... She did say some pretty concerning stuff. How long did you think the repairs will take? Its exterior is rather heavily damaged, however, from what is visible from the outside, its interior is still quite intact. With Miss Faust's expertise, it should not take very long. Yusong suggested with a smirk, but Faust maintained her silence for the entire journey to the lighthouse. Then said something pretty concerning in response. Of course, my way remains unmarred, even in such uncertainties. The currents are pretty wild. Someone's gonna have to stay behind to keep an eye on the raft. We can't just leave it here unattended, but I don't know if we can carry it either. I'll stay here and protect the ship. You sure you can handle this alone? I know you're strong, but maybe one or two more people should stay behind just in case. No, don't need them. Sea terrors will swarm the island if I go with you anyway. So this has nothing to do with you. So what she's trying to say is that she's worried about you not having enough people to take on the lighthouse when she can handle this area alone. Which is why she's okay with staying behind alone. Thanks for explaining. Some people just can't help but hop through an extra hoop, I guess. Well then, let's trust her. We'll be back, Scatty. Luckily, we didn't run into any sea terrors on our way to the lighthouse gates. The problem was that the gates were bound shut by strange blue tissue. Reminds me of that Alcor branch back at U-Corp, though that one was white. I don't think I can do anything to force it open myself, so... Guys, can you pry open the door? Boy, move over. I'll pull from the right side, you grab the left, and we'll all pull together at 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Something's off here. What are you doing? The door is firmly secured in place. This flesh tissue regenerates almost as soon as it is torn. Perhaps you'll need to tap into a wilder form of art to get this open. Well, what now? The strange flesh tissue growing on the gates is sea terror. It reaches the lamp, but it's grown too much to be affected by it in any meaningful capacity. Scatty might be able to open the door with her incredible strength, but should I go fetch her? But I think she's already fighting off the sea terrors from sinking the raft. So we're all on our own. Maybe there's an identity card or ego I could use to get through this. So which one? Just as I was pondering a familiar question, a faint black glow came into view, then devoured my sight. It's no intuition or inspiration. It's different from those sudden flashes of realization. And it's not like the star of that day that I think of from time to time. It's not like the horrible door that I see every time I turn the clock either. The formless and black space in which I am not permitted to see, a faint noise, a whisper cuts through it. And through that opening I see a light. I reach out to the opening and see Scatty, born from the very, very warm gaze. Scatty. Powerful imagery crashes onto me like with the waves. Scatty, the staggering dancer wielding a blade. Scatty, who flaunts her flowing locks, and Scatty, the singer, humming in a low voice. Beyond the fringes of cognition, Scatty's existence has become engraved. The sinner who can wrestle and control this oceanic tidal power is... Dante, are you alright? I'm good, and I don't think we'll need to send for Scatty. What? Hey Ishmael, I've never used this ego before, but I need you to trust me and accept it. What, an ego? I nodded quietly. Well, it's not like we'll ever get to have a practice run with these ego, whatever it is. Seems to me our manager has found a solution. Her confusion is short-lived. She lets out a carefree laughter before stepping forward, boldly twirling her mace once. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? Get corroded?
한눈 팔지 마세요. 맹활은 당신에게 파도는 반드시 밀려올 테니.
Cracks on the lighthouse are growing. I think she destroyed the door instead of opening it. Sorry, I didn't think it would be that strong. Well, the door's open. What are we waiting for? No, I mean, what? What was that part where you... What, the part where I suddenly changed into a different outfit and equipped it a different personality? Yes, that. This is most fascinating, that an ego could be drawn here in lieu of the mirror of Mephistopheles. I think I connected to Amiya's subconscious mind. There was this strange, unfamiliar light, and I saw Amiya's emotions attached to her memories and experiences, so I just reached out to them. My subconscious mind? I just had this feeling that it would work. Sorry about peering in without asking first. I didn't see anything other than things about Scatty. All I needed were memories and emotions that were used to understand the being that is Scatty. It's okay, I also have experience with gaining power from others' memories and emotions to overcome difficult situations. Maybe that's how you were able to draw something from me as well, Dante. That is the most appropriate assumption, especially in a situation in which delving into its principles is impossible. So that's called ego. Verily, of course, Limbus Company's ego is quite distinguished from the other kinds of ego which are bloomed from within oneself. That is enough. No further information is to be divulged to outsiders. Yet it matters not whether young mayors and young Amia learn of this. I agree that with the fool this time, the Inquisitor used an artillery projectile that penetrates the outer wall, several of them, in fact, of a building, and Bad did not pursue her. Following that breach of taboo, this is clearly not the city. Ain't it better to let her talk her heart out than to hear her moan and whine about not being able to say anything? I am convinced. Do as you will, then. That reply sounded almost sulking, but Don Quixote immediately began to expound upon ego to Irene and Mayors anyway. But everyone was too busy to pay attention to her, as the wet slithering noise from a distance had put everyone on edge. Can we do that later? We've got some cleaning up to do. So there were more sea terrors past the door. I think any sea terrors from the sea are all converging around Skadi, which means our only roadblocks are sea terrors still lingering around the lighthouse. Let's go. Let's take the lighthouse back.
天색이 이상하나 그럼에도 이상이여 내가 맞서 내가 아시의 이상을 함께 줬던 호위 이상이여
Okay, well, that's pretty interesting. Curious how exactly that will work.
그쪽 방향이 아닐 텐데.
ドクターのように優れた式ですね。
일기당천
가치 없. 이제 끝내지.
敵は深手を負っています。
자, 어느 쪽일지 잘 생각해보라고. 틔울 수도 없겠구나.
튼튼하군요.
効果的な攻撃でした。
마음 놓고 열어젖히고
이제 끝내지.
"このまま行けば敵を食い止められます」
불가 위야. 막아내지 못하리.
So yeah, like usual, these little encounters here are very easy.
토끼를 고작 이 정도 탕류에 허덕이 저 해충들을 도려내라.
とても効果的でした。
깨우치시길.
묘야. 길을 열어라.
適した攻撃でなくても最善の選択だったはずです。
하나 넘고 둘 넘고 꺾고 제쳐라.
숨통 끊기. 시도는 좋았어요.
敵は深手を負っています。
흑수묘 뒷박질 준비.
Wow, we have to fight 25 of these guys. That's quite a lot.
목을 떨궈주마. 고작 이 정도 탕넌 푸름을 틔울 수도 없겠구나.
마음 놓고 열어젖히고
敵は深手を負っています。
흑수묘 뒷박질 준비.
Get some AoE in here.
아득한 여정. 멈추지 않는 시대에서 희망과 미래를 찾아 스스로 답을 구하라. 아직 죽지 마라. 불쌍하지. 끝내지.
흐릿한 등화 곱게 접은 종이에 번졌으니 식구의 하늘 용이 되어 빈 벼루에 남았구나.
무상한 목숨. 불끈을 지원할 뿐.
가엾고 슬픈 아이들이 그저 애도를 표할 수 없네.
このまま行けば敵を食い止められます。
이
자, 어느 쪽일지 잘 생각해보라고.
시도는 좋았어요.
このまま行けば敵を食い止められます。
헤어내리.
넌 푸른을 틔울 수도 없겠구나. 또 한 줄 길을 남겼군. 핏물진 길일 뿐이지만 세월이 지나면 홍호는 그제야 알게 되겠지.
한눈 팔지 마세요.
I can't remember if I needed 80 or 90.
야음을 틈타.
Alright, looks good. Let's get into it.
囚人の皆さんの状態に何か変化が。
행색이 이상하나. 그럼에도 이상이여. 내가 맞서.
헤어내리.
내가 아시의 이상을 함께 주시는 호시
목을 떨궈주마. 고작 이 정도 탕류에
Damn, we got another 25 to kill now.
불쌍하게 울부짖는군.
그쪽 방향이 아닐 텐데.
効果的な攻撃でした。
훌륭하군요.
엘리트 오페레이터 並みの腕前です。
일기당천.
시비수에게 명한다. 이 앞에 숨지는 자 누구 하나 살려보지 마라. 고작 이 정도 탕류에 허덕이나.
틈을 끊어.
ドクターのように優れた式ですね。
가치 없군. 죽어.
エリートオペレーター並みの腕前です。
자, 어느 쪽일지 잘 생각해보라고.
고작 이 정도 탕류에 허덕이나.
선을 넘고 꺾고 제쳐라. 이건 예상 못했나 봐. 깔끔하게 물었군.
このまま行けば敵を食い止められます。
시간 끌 것 없이 모두를 치워버려. 이제 깨우치시게.
토끼를 고작 이 정도 탕류의 허덕이 저 해충들을
と
도려내라.
ても効果的でした。
깨우치시게.
묘야. 길을 열어라.
適した攻撃でなくても最善の選択だったはずです。
바람 불어오는 대로 짓밟아라.
이제 끝내지.
敵は深手を負っています。
숨통 끊기. 모든 결과들은 파우스트가 알아요.
고작 이 정도 탕류의 허덕이나.
이건 예상 못했나 봐.
무상한 목숨. 불끈을 지원할 뿐.
敵は深手を負っています。
일기당천.
And we actually rolled heads on it. That was really good.
우산을 세지는 않는
これがリンバスカンパニーの戦闘。私もまた一つ学ばせていただきました。エリートオペレーター並みの腕前です。
이
흑수묘 뒷박질 춤. 자, 맛볼 시간이다. 잠깐만 기다려라.
이건 예상 못했나 봐.
한눈 팔지 마세요. 메말은 당신에게, 파도는 반드시 밀려올 테니.
エリートオペレーターの身の腕前です。
불가 위야. 막아내지 못하리. 불쌍하게 울부짖는군.
넌 푸름을 틔울 수도 없겠구나.
가엾고 슬픈 아이들. 하지만 해도 필요할 수 없다.
多数討伐確認。
틈을 끊어.
敵は深手を負っています。
시간 끌 것 없이
말로 받아내라.
모조리 치워버리죠.
And this should be the last turn. I don't see how it wouldn't be.
거꾸로 제차.
오야.
시간은 좋았어요.
And there we go.
마침내 굴레 하나를 끊었어. 두려움 없이 나아갈 수 있는 아씨가 그리던 홍원이 한 걸음 더 가까워진 것이요. 그러니 언젠가 재회할 날 꼭 내게도 은자를 풀어주시오. 내 그것만을 바라고 온몸에 피를 묻혀가며 쉼없이 달리고
Oh dear,
있으니
do we have a boss on our hands here?
준비한 대로만 하면.
There were more sea terrors than we expected near the lighthouse, but thanks to Irene's lamp, the light of which paralyzed their nervous systems, paired with the rather narrow passageways, we were able to handle them without much trouble. Also, as the control room was, unlike the exterior wall, mostly undamaged, Fab shared the good news that the repairs would most likely not take very long. Yasan was right. Fortunately, the inside was barely damaged. How are you progressing, Miss Faust? It is almost complete. We best prepare to leave. Then I'll radio the doctor. Let's, A tremor shakes the building with a loud boom and debris begins to fall from the ceiling. The lighthouse's precarious floor suddenly collapses from the shock. The floor is giving way. What's going on out there? Something rammed against the Eye of Iberia. I see shattering through the ocean surface, the sheer explicit force turning water into mist. And it's charging at us once again. As Yesong noticed, I saw the shadow of a dark figure through the ruptured outer wall of the lighthouse, charging ferociously at the ruined structure. The figure looked a lot like one of those knights of the city's western region Don Quixote would talk at length about. The lighthouse might crumble at this rate, then we have no choice. We have to stop whatever's out there. Yeah, stay here. The rest of us will descend the White House, and the White House is almost fully functional. It'll only take some finishing touches to have its light shine again. Which I can handle, so I'll stay behind. Seems entirely unnecessary to leave the rest to you, and I would much rather leave it to Faust, who is an expert. I've read about the Seaborn before. The fables and legends say that he is the last knight, and if those stories have any grain of truth in them, you're going to need all the hands on deck to even have a chance of stalling it. You better prepare a few days of interrogations once I bring you into the Inquisition. Your decision, Executive Manager. All hands on deck. Leave the lighthouse to mayors. We have to put a stop to that night somehow. Waves crest high and violent mind the spear-wielding knight. We have to protect the already precarious lighthouse against the night. The night begins to charge at us, his steed splitting the very sea, and I instinctively knew that this isn't going to be easy.
아는 것을 모른 채 할 순
敵
없으니
の調子が悪くなっているみたいです
행색이 이상하나 그럼에도 이상이요.
Okay, well, that's a little concerning that I don't even know his level.
아시의 이상을 함께 줬던 호위 이상이요.
How do you equalize with question mark, question mark, question mark?
흑승묘 뒷박질 준비.
Limbus カンパニーの皆さんとご一緒できて本当に嬉しいです
12세기 명한다. 이 앞에 숨진 자,
숨통 끊기.
살려주지 마라. 지 목을 떨궈 주마.
한개 끊어.
Well, damn, that's not good at all.
술술해.
囚人に致命傷を確認。至急対処お願いします。
하나 넘고 둘 넘고 꺾고 제쳐라.
これも作戦の一環。リンバスカンパニーの戦い方。
자, 어느 쪽일지 잘 생각해보라고.
저 해충들을 도려내라.
모든
물러나.
것에
이
견뎠어.
목숨은 아직 따로 쓸 곳이 있다. 적을 물어뜯고 너의 쓸모를 보여라.
何か変化が。
시간 끌 것 없이 모조리
이 거리면
치워버리죠.
충분해. 너한텐 조금 멀겠지만. 이 거리면 충분해. 너한텐 조금 멀겠지만.
무상한 목숨. 불끈을 지원할 뿐.
リンバスカンパニーの皆さんとご一緒できて本当に嬉しいです。
시간 끌 것 없이 모조리 치워버리죠. 아득한 야정.
Get some healing and SP regen in here.
스스로
지 목을 떨궈 주마.
バスカンパニーの皆さんとご一緒できて本当に嬉しいです。
일기당천. 넘고 선 넘고 무수히 넘고 얼마든지 꺾고 제쳐라. 내
And there we go. We got off the stagger now.
능히 그리할 수 있어.
불끈을 지원할 뿐.
効果的な攻撃でした。
토끼를 본다. 저 해충들을 도려내라.
틈을 끊어.
몸소 보여주지. 자! 어떤 모험하군.
겹겹의 주문
なんだか
뚫어보이겠어.
ただならぬ気配を感じます。
헤어내리.
적질났나. 걸음이 내키지 않았어.
皆さんしっかり
그뿐이야.
してください。
God, why am I so fucking useless? God damn.
불가 위야. 막아내지 못하리.
優勢です。状況を今一度把握し直さなければ。
시간 끌 것 없이 모조리 치워버리죠.
모든 무상무정 시선해봐야 어지럽다 해도 기꺼이 저 풍진 세상으로.
아득한 여정, 멈추지 않는 시대에서 희망과 미래를 찾아 스스로 답을 구하시길. 무슨
모든 것에 견뎠어.
皆さんしっかりしてください。
잠깐만. 뭘 이제 지급자. 과연 우리가 죽어도 즐거운 묘한 시간이었는데.
자, 되냐? 저격수한테 이런 거 시키지 좀 마라.
아는 것을 모른 채 할 수는
主
없어.
人が死亡。
너의
どう
쓸모를
すれば。
조여 먹구를 달궈볼까?
혈염도 바로.
適した攻撃でなくとも最善の選択だった。
방향이 아닐 텐데.
もっと効果的な方法が。
아득한 여정, 멈추지 않는 시대에서 희망과 미래를 찾아 스스로 답을 구하시길.
혈염도 바로.
한 점만 노린다.
본인의 승리일세.
Oh boy, that was a rough one there. I'm out of rounds, the lamp's almost out too. We're holding him back for now, but we won't last much longer. No BS, I can last to the Lighthouse, not so much. What difference does that make? The sinners were reeling from their battle against this enemy. It was more like a force of nature than a human. Without giving us much time to breathe, the knight fixes a spear and begins charging at us once again. It didn't take very long for the severity of the situation to dawn as I began racking my head for a desperate wish. What can I do? What can I do here? That's when through the mist, the black space began to envelop my vision once again. Wait, this is just like, and from the dark light shines again. I reach out toward it and see, unlike the earlier phenomenon, which had focused entirely and powerfully on Scotty, a single individual, what I saw this time was an unfamiliar place. called Casimir's. This place was filled to the brim with things that Don Quixote would lose her mind over, like knights and their countless fans, an arena in which to test one's mettle. But the one in Amiya's thoughts sits far from all that glory in a very mundane-looking office. He wears a well-kept set of clothing, while his eyes are, with a slight squint, focused on reading the newspaper. The man looked more like an office worker than a knight, but the most radiant part of the scene was a banner hanging on the wall and a sword. Don Quixote was the first sinner who came to mind. Can she, our arguing admirer of knights and pursuer of glory, spend the energy from the sword as around? Wait, no, he's different. I need someone who doesn't pursue glory, someone who can handle their own tarnished glory. The sinner who can detachedly wield the entirety of their bygone honor is, yes, there's just one. I'll trust you, Gregor. Use this ego to hew into the knight's charge, split the ways. Use the light to split the ways. I hear you, Manager Bud. Let's do this.
이 검은, 이 명예는, 이 영광은 빛바래지 않은 틈.
The incandescent golden blades of light surge forth, cleaving through the darkness of the sea. The knight withstands and parries each of their lights away, but he comes to a stop when the last of the golden radiance cuts across the sea and looks in our direction as if to admire it. And finally, the lighthouse makes a low, resonant creaking noise before firing a bright light toward the ocean horizon. Mares completed the repairs. The light returneth to its house once more. Silence, all Mares is saying something. Like Otis said, Mares was peeking out the window and shouting something at us. Vessel Mesas is near the shore, somewhere in the coastal sea. It's moored somewhere by the beach, somewhere quite a bit of distance away from the village coast. Confirmed, I'll radio Dr. Calcin immediately. That's all well and good, but what about that monster? Yeah, what if it charges at the lighthouse again and destroys it? I heard it talk during our battle, but I don't think that creature is capable of actually communicating with them. This'll be a problem. Don Quixote, wait, don't get too close to it, it's too dangerous. And before we could stop her, Don Quixote had already approached as close as she could to the Seaborn, her eyes twinkling. She takes a brief moment to admire the knight in his steed before asking in an energetic tone, "O mighty knight, what is the name of thy noble steed?" Rocinante. Wait, she can communicate with him. Tis quite the coincidence then. My noble steed is also named Rocinante. One who is not a comrade, they are a steed, you say. Forsooth, thy steed, most fine indeed, it has served me well over countless adventures of mine, despite its appearance. Yet I must inquire thee, noble knight, where'st thou strike this lighthouse so? A storm left. It was not the waves are darker and more miraculous. Perchance there was a tad inconvenient misunderstanding here then. Good night. I and mine compatriots are now embarking upon an adventure most important, yet with thy obstruction we are unable to do so. Prithee, wilt thou return to whence thou came? Don Quixote regarded the knight with a stance that was at once courageous, courteous, and brave. And the knight in his seat Rocinante stared wordlessly back at Don Quixote. I wasn't sure if she managed to get through to the knight or if the knight was just lost interest, but they both departed the lighthouse, looking out into the far distance. So they really exist, Seaborns who hope for something other than just survival. Such powerful Seaborns lurk at sea. Are you alright, Donkey? You should be thankful that it somehow yielded a positive outcome. When are you going to fix that habit of rushing forward without thinking it through? Mine apologies. While Don Quixote returned the night with that bizarre conversation, Amia raised her voice happily as though she just received good news. What, Dr. Couchsit, is that true? What's going on? The doctors managed to infiltrate the vessel mesas. They're already done cleaning up the decks and are now waiting for the rest of us to arrive. But it's been hardly 10 minutes since the lighthouse came on. The doctor's an excellent strategist, and based on what Dr. Couchsit told us, I think they already had some plans in motion before we activated the lighthouse. Great, let's return to Scotty and join them. We returned to the raft and explained what had transpired. Scotty listened to us quietly before replying in the exact same manner as she did before. Someone's going to have to stay behind. I'll stay. Go find the vessel mesas. You're going to refuse again if we offer help, aren't you? Yes. Then I'll see you after we retrieve the vessel mesas, so let the doctor know what happened here. What an oddball.
또 한 줄 길을 남겼군. 핏물진 길일 뿐이지만 세월이 지나면 홍호는 그제야 알게 되겠지. 이 홍로가 무엇을 바꾸었는지를.
Anyway, that is where I'm going to leave it off for today's video. If you made it this far, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time when we probably finish off the rest of the event. So yeah, until then, I'll see you next time. Bye!